Let's discuss about the formal charge of an polyatomic atoms. When there are two or more atoms, they are going to be joined. We are going to call as the polyatomic, and we should write their formal charge also. That is very important here. So let's take a definition for the formal charge. That is the difference in the number of valence electrons of an atom in a free state and number of electrons which are going to be assigned to atom in the Lewis dot structure. So here there is a matter of the once again total number of valence electrons. In that, how many electrons which are going to be assigned or which of the electrons which are not going to be assigned for the bond formation. So this is a formula here. So this is very important in order to find out the any formal charge of any atom. So that is number of valence electrons in the free state. We should first find out the number of valence electrons. How many valence electrons will be there? Minus total number of non-bonding electrons. Non-bonding electrons means they are called as the lone pair of electrons. Minus half of the total number of the bond pair of electrons. I mean half of the how many electrons which are going to be involved in the bond formation. So simply if I am going to write as it that is total valence electrons minus unshared. UV is nothing but the unshared electrons minus half of the shared electrons. Half of the shared electron. If you know this formal charge, this is Fc. Formal charge formula we can going to find out very easy. So let's take a first example. I am going to take here. It is called O3. O3 is nothing but the ozone. Its name is called ozone. So here let's take an oxygen. Oxygen electron configuration. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. How many valence electrons will be there? There are total 6 valence electrons will be there. How many oxygen containing? 3 will be there. So according to Lewis dot structure, I am going to write the structure of the ozone. That is like this. So this is called Lewis dot structure of this ozone molecule. Let's count the total number of valence electrons. They are going to be satisfied or not. Here there is 6 valence electrons for one oxygen. How many oxygen? 3. So that is called 6 3 18 valency should be satisfied here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So the total number of valence electrons are going to be satisfied here. So these are called the bond pair of electrons and these are going to be called as the non-bonded. That is called lone pair of electrons. So according to this formula, we are going to calculate this one. That is, and also meanwhile I am also going to assign for the name for these oxygen atoms because 3 similar atoms will be there. That's why I am going to name as for first oxygen 1, this is 2 and this is 3. I am going to name. Because why I am going to assign name? Because to calculate in a simplified form. First I am going to take the formal charge of the first oxygen atom according to the formula. Find out the total number of valence electrons. How many valence electrons will be there? Here we should not count all the oxygen because only this oxygen I am going to take here. This oxygen is this contains maximum 6 only. That is called 6 valence electrons. I am going to write 6 valence electrons minus what are the unshared electrons? That is called total number of non-bonding. Non-bonding means lone pair of electrons. How many will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to subtract 4. Then minus. According to the formula, minus half of the shared electrons. Half of the shared. Which are going to be shared? I mean bond electrons. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is also 4. Right? So subtract this one. What happens? This is 2 1 ja, 2 2 ja. Right? 2 1 ja, 2 2 ja. 4 minus this is called 2. Right? 6 minus 4 minus 2. What will be there? 0. So what is the charge of the first oxygen? That is 0. Right. Next, formal charge for the second oxygen. Same. This you should consider. Total valence electrons 6 minus what about unshared electrons? How many unshared? This is only 2. Minus half of the shared electron. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be there. So now count here 2 1 ja, 2 3 ja. Right? So what happens? So 2 and 2 3. Now subtract this one. 6 minus 2. This is minus 3. So 6 minus 5, that becomes plus 1, right? So the formal charge plus 1 for the second oxygen atom. Similarly, for formal charge for the third oxygen atom, that is valence electron 6 would be there, minus what about unshared electrons here? 2, 4, 6 would be there. 6 unshared electrons minus half of the shared electrons. How many? Only 2. So that will be there. 2 1 jar, 2 1 jar. This is 1. That is 6 minus 6. 6 minus 6 minus 1. So this is cancelled. Remaining will be minus 1 charge for this third oxygen atom. So now I am going to write this one as the like this: oxygen, double bond, oxygen, single bond, oxygen. So for what is the first carbon? What is the charge here? There is no charge, 0. What is the second oxygen? What is the charge here? Charge will be plus 1. Now I am going to write plus indication. And what about this third oxygen? Minus 1. This would be I am going to write minus, similarly like this. This is called minus 1 and this is called like this. I am going to write here remaining. So this is the way to show the formal charge on the oxygen atoms by using this formal charge rules. Let's discuss about the limitations of the octet rule. So what happens? The octet rule sometimes which is not going to be necessary for all the atoms in a molecule. So especially this octet rule is mainly the elements which will be going to be followed by mainly the second period elements. Second period elements, those elements they only obey this octet rule, but some other elements they are not obeying. So first one example, if I take this hydrogen molecule, this hydrogen atom comes in the first period, right? So this hydrogen molecule, when I write this like when I split it here, so that is called hydrogen and hydrogen. That is called bond. This bond is nothing but the mutual sharing pair of electrons between them, right? So when you look at this hydrogen, so this is 2 electrons and this is 2 electrons like this. So even though this is not going to obey the octet rule, but even though it is a stable compound, this is a stable. Why? Because this hydrogen, you know that only one electron will be there. So in order to get the stability, so this hydrogen nearest noble gas is called helium, right? Helium containing the 2 electrons. That's why this hydrogen, which is going to make a bond with another hydrogen, so that is what sharing of the 2 electrons between themselves. Now it is become stable because now count the electrons 1, 2. 2 electrons is nothing but the helium. Helium is a stable. Like this, in order to maintain the stable, they are going to make a bond, but they are not going to be followed the octet rule. Next, second one, incomplete octet of the central atom. Sometimes what happens? Some other elements in a molecule they obey octet, but what happens? Central atom which is not going to obey this octet rule. So let's take what are those expressions. This type of configuration of central atom is found in less than 4 valence electrons. So this type of molecules which comes, they will be having less than 4 valence electrons. What are less than 4 valence electrons? That is nothing but hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. So these elements which will be having less than 4 valence electron. Valence electron is outside electrons. So if I take this lithium hydride, how I am going to write here? Lithium hydride, like this. So this lithium has only 2 electrons. Mutual sharing will be there. Sharing will be there here. But hydrogen, what happens? This will be now it is stable, right? So like this. But this is not obeying the octet. Similarly, beryllium hydride. I am going to write like this. Hydrogen bond is stable, but what about beryllium? Beryllium is not obeying this octet rule. So next one, boron trichloride. How I am going to write here? Boron trichloride, like this. Here boron is a central atom. But what about this chlorine? Yes, chlorine is obeying the octet rule because it is going to have the 8 dot structures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 6, 8. 1, 2, 6, 8. What about this boron? 2, 4, 6 remaining. So that's why it forms a vacant orbital. So like this, this central atom which is not going to obey the octet, but some other atoms which are attached to this boron, that is chlorine, that is stable because of this satisfied octet. And next one, third one, odd electron molecule. Odd electron molecule means, so what happens here, one extra dot will be there. This is called odd electron molecule. Example for this, that is called nitric oxide. Its name is called nitric oxide, and this is called nitrogen dioxide because of the two oxygen. And look at this one. So this oxygen, it is completely octet. 2, 4, 6, 8. What about this nitrogen? 2, 4, 6, 7. So 7 is incomplete. So this oxygen 2, 4, 6, 8. This oxygen 2, 4, 6, 8. But this nitrogen 2, 4, 6, 7. So that is called incomplete. So this makes it is called odd electron dot. That is called odd electron molecule. This comes to this category. So that's why the nitrogen which is not going to satisfy the octet here. Next one, fourth one, that is called expanded octet state. Expanded means extra. So suppose, so these especially expanded octet state of the elements which comes under the third period of the periodic table. So what happens in the third period means the principal star will be number 3, right? So that's why they will be having the 3s orbital, 3p orbital and 3d orbital. So they are going to make use of the 3s orbital, 3p orbital, 3d, right? So what happens when you count the electrons? S orbital can have maximum 2 electrons, p orbital can have maximum 6 electrons. So 2 plus 6, 8. And what about d? D is containing more maximum 10 electrons will be there. Or you can take 9. If we take this 9 also, what happens? It is going to be exceed, right? 2 plus 6, 8. 8 plus 9, 17, like this. So they are going to exceeding rather than this octet, right? So that's why these 3s, 3p, 3d orbitals of the electrons, they are going to use for the bond formation. Now the total number of valence electron exceeds 8. So here 8 will be maximum will be there in this case. So that is also called as super octet. Super octet. So example is SF6 and phosphorus pentachloride. So I am going to write the structure SF6 first. So this is called SF6, central atom is sulfur. So when I take this one, so as fluorine is obeying the octet rule, right? So what about the sulfur? Sulfur you can see here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we are going to exceed, right? So this is more than 8. That is called exceed, expandable of this octet state, this sulfur, right? What about this phosphorus pentachloride? So if I take this chlorine, chlorine will be having satisfaction of the octet rule. What about this phosphorus? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like this. So this is called expanded octet state. So like this, so molecules sometimes which will be having the less than valence electron, that is called they form the incomplete octet state. Sometimes exceedingly more than the octet, that is called more electrons, valence electrons. That's why they are going to exceed the octet. So that is called expanded will be there. These I am going to call as the limitations of the octet rule.